The following is for entertainment purposes only. We are not financial advisors. We are not responsible for any losses, only the profits. What's happening, Octo family? We are taking a look at rocket companies. You heard of them? I've been getting requests for this for months. I got a couple here recently, and I was like, you know what? Let's just get this out of the way. I need to dive in anyway because I've heard people talk about it, and I was like, I know it's something with mortgages, so I'm kind of on the fence, but let me dive in. I need to know anyway, so dove on in. Here we go. It's a Detroit-based holding company consisting of personal finance and consumer service brands. Founded by Dan Gilbert, a tech-driven rocket company provides industry-leading real estate, mortgage, and financial services, empowering consumers through entities including Rocket Homes, Rocket Auto, Rocket Mortgage, the nation's largest mortgage lender. Since 1985, we have been obsessed with helping our clients achieve financial freedom and the American dream of home ownership. Isn't that sweet? Rocket Mortgage is an online mortgage experience developed by Quicken Loans. Does anyone use Quicken for finances? Anyone ever had a loan through either of these? America's largest mortgage lender. Rocket Mortgage isn't a calculator, it's a way to get a mortgage. Just tell us about yourself, your home, and your finances, and we'll give you a real investment rates and numbers, not just our best guesses. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. Then you can use Rocket Mortgage to get approved, ask questions about your mortgage, manage your payments, and more. Why should you use them? They let you work at your own pace while providing award-winning customer service and expert advice when you need it. It's available 24/7. That means they're there when you need them for fast approvals to buy houses the way you want to lock in your rates before they drop. It's a typical pitch, right? Sign up now so we can lock in the rates before they go back up. If you want a fast and convenient way to get a mortgage, you should give Rocket Mortgage a try. Take a look at, let's go with Bear Thesis first, all right? We want this thing to go up. What's happening here? Number one, they're getting that money. They're getting that money. Year-over-year growth, amazing. It went from 51 million in Q1 to Q2 to 72 million. The percents are up. This looks great. I like this company. I've talked about it's kind of like an online play. You don't got to think or worry about oil in it. Keep it gassed up. Dude, it's just online. Just programs, dude. Second quarter highlights. During the second quarter, Rocket Companies generated record closing loans origination volume of $72.3 billion and a net lock volume of $92 billion, which represents year-over-year improvements of 126% and 170% respectively. It's also really convenient, right? That's the big pitch on this is they advertise it, dude, you be sitting on your couch and you can apply for a home loan. You don't got to go down to some place, make an appointment. They sit there and tell you to buy now, just like we were saying, and then it just takes, I don't know. It's just not convenient anymore. People want to do it on their phones. Have most mortgage companies, even the local guys, made it that way so you can fill out it online anyway? I think so. I think these guys are pitching it way harder because, well, they've got more money to throw around too. Financial situation hasn't birthed yet. So it's still getting filled up. That's why I think it might do it right. Upcoming catalysts, there's an event coming on. When? In 6 days. On the 10th this year, we got a link right here. Come take a look. It's down in the description if you want it. Rocket Companies is having their third quarter earnings call. I got a strong feeling it's going to be awesome. But what and where will the market be in 6 days? Will we finally have 100% knowledge of who our next president is? I don't know. If you didn't see my video for Friday or Saturday, maybe Sunday, come watch this if you want to hear more about mortgages and the whole macro picture of where I'm kind of thinking. I go over charts and graphs and real data numbers, a little bit more here. We are on to the Bear Thesis now. Well, I think this might not be too good. If people are going to refinance their mortgage, I think most of the people are probably about done. I think most people have already, interest rates have been so low for months. Their friends have been talking about it. Their realtors, their mortgage people have been talking about it. I think if people were going to do it, they've already done it. Most of the money these guys make is on refinancing. Number 2, realtors hate them. The first time I heard about these guys was on Instagram, because a realtor friend of mine was complaining, and she was saying that number one mistake that new wannabe home buyers make is they go and try to get a fake approval online first. Don't ever do it. Don't ever do it. You know, and there's memes about it and everything. It is hard to get minimal changes done that could take a local company minutes. Could take days for paperwork changes through them. This is feedback from real data, real people that I know that have gone through it, dealt with it. This is not what they told you, because remember up there, they're like, rocket fast, 24/7 will get you stuff done, but I'm hearing the reality is not that. A poll in a nationwide RE/MAX group that was made when they IPO'd, and it said 78 against 22% said no on their opinion on Rocket Mortgage, and 0 were in favor of Quicken with like 4,000 votes. It's a big real estate friend of mine told me about this. So, you know, real estate agents don't like it. You know, they like working with the mortgage guys. They do, because, and women, they do because they get stuff done. They know how each other work. It just flows better, you know, if you pick the right real estate agent. There's some real estate agents that they're going to hook you up with their friend because they're going to maybe cut them part of the deal, even though it's legal, but they're going to do it anyway. And they could totally suck. They're just not good at doing mortgages. They're lazy. That's why you got to pick the right real estate agent, not just, you know, random dude down the street. Oh yeah, I sell houses. No, man. They got to be in like the top 20 ballers in your area, you know, or someone who's hungry and driven and, you know, on it. They spit out approval letters and interest rates that never come to fruition. So this is a big problem with loans as a whole for everything. What they'll do is they'll say, yeah, we'll get you pre-approved, and they'll just, boom, slap you out of leather and give you an approval. So, you know, Miss Smith and her husband go on to Rocket Mortgage at 11 p.m. and they're like, oh, let's just take a look. And then 5 minutes later, she's printing off a pre-approval letter for $500,000. She goes and runs and tells the husband, look, we can move by my parents. Aren't you excited? And he's like, oh, it's convenient. But the problem is a lot of those pre-approvals don't carry any weight. It's like we've talked about, like, you can sue people. You can sue people in America for whatever you want. Doesn't mean the court is going to actually approve it at the end. Doesn't mean it's going to hold up in court. Doesn't mean the judge is going to laugh at you and say, get out of my courtroom and here's a bill for wasting my time. It's the same thing with these. I mean, even, you know, ATV loans or whatever, they can do the same thing. They can send people home with vehicles and then call them the next day and be like, yeah, remember that approval we told you had? Doesn't really exist. That's all good if Kanye approves, right? As long as he signs the paper at the end. Because remember, anyone who's ever got a mortgage will likely tell you that it can be very interesting trying to get one of these done. They can get complicated. They can take weeks. They can go forever, you know, and they can fall apart for little reasons. Usually it's from people applying for more loans, but something to keep in the back of your mind. Lending standards are tightening all over. There's thousands of articles out there. The banks have been tightening. Banks say they are tightening lending standards even as demand for money falls. Why are they doing that? Because banks are the ones actually in control. They know that the Fed will just start printing money. And guess what? When they print money and buy bonds, guess who does the transaction and makes money anyway? Banks. How about CMBS delinquency and special servicing rate? Back in 2008, it took a while for it to finally hit its peak at around March 2011. We are just in the beginning of this delinquency rate. Why do we care about this? Because when the banks tighten the standards, it will be harder for Rocket Mortgage to get more loans done. They'll still be spitting out the fake pre-approvals, but when it comes to Ms. Smith actually getting the house and signing the papers, the banks are going to be like, you approve this? We're not approving this. This is a crazy deal. Nope. Right? So when people are starting to get delinquent down here, this is where the market tends to flip, right? I really think that the market is almost tapped out as far as pricing and all that. And that's where you can see stuff starting to move. This blue line here is basically government bailing out free money for mortgages, people not having to pay the rent and mortgages and all that. The red keeps going. This is actual real delinquency. Got to keep a watch of this. This will keep updating on my site if you want to check it out. How about historical CM Best delinquency rates for the great financial crisis versus the current market? It's these big old blue lines that are worse than they have ever been, way worse than back in 2008. What do you think is going to happen when everyone is now moved? Everyone has now moved. Everyone has settled out of the big cities because of what's going on. People got scared. A lot of people moved in with their parents and all that to consolidate. What do you think is going to happen now when everyone just wants to hang out? And what do you think is going to happen when the government completely stops giving people money, which they kind of have, and they make it so they have to make their payments on their houses and rent and all that? There's no more help. What's going to happen? And then what happens when they try to go back to work? And the work doesn't exist anymore because those work loans, they're not grants, they're loans, don't exist either anymore. This is where things top out. How about rental vacancy rate for the United States? From Q2 to Q3, we had the highest jump in vacancy rate in rentals. What does this mean? The micro millionaires that have a bunch, handful of rental houses, right, in whatever city, they are finally kicking people out of their houses, even though they can't legally in some places. But what I'm getting at here is people have just stopped paying rent. I know lots of people that have rental property management companies, and they're like, dude, people just ain't paying rent. But the people just say, let them stay there, because what are we going to do? Who else are they going to find to pay the rent? Just wait. This line here is going to be very interesting to follow for Q4 to see where this is at, and then Q1 of next year. Back in 2008, the rental vacancy rate, was all the way up to like 10, 11 in 2010. But see how long this took? 2 years. It takes about 2 years to really get bad, but we're just at the brink here. Might not look like because we're down here, but just wait. Just wait. So I know I've sounded a little bit more bear about this, but the deal is, would I invest in this tomorrow? Maybe. Would you believe me if I listen to what I just told you? Let's take a look at the chart here. What's going on? So standard IPO, this thing came out August 6th of this year. Pretty new. Looks pretty standard for a recent IPO. It came up, it dumped. I'm surprised it didn't dump more, honestly. Then it ripped. It was ripping, and this was when people were really talking about, like, dude, you see what happened, man? I went from like 20 to 30, man. And then we got the FOMOers, and then we got the rug puller puppeteers, blammo. Now people are stuck holding bags that all bought all through here. Regardless, as far as the graph goes, this looks fine. This could still keep stair-stepping down, though. Is this something I'm going to put money in tomorrow? No, I'm not. I'm definitely more comfortable putting money into this here at 20 than up in 30, but I don't know. The new thing that's coming out, the Q3 earnings that are coming out, it should technically get a boost from that, because it should be good. It should be good. We got a couple more good quarters, I think, that are going to be showing up. But as you might know in this market, even when good earnings come out, it doesn't mean that the stock's going to go up. A lot of stuff starts running before, and then the good earnings come out and people jump out because people are scared. Because if you haven't noticed, the market's nuts. So watch it. In the next couple days, we got, let's say 3 or 4 days. If this starts getting close to 25 or something, I'd move up some stop sales loss, to protect yourself on this. Maybe a trailing stop or whatever. Just watch it, because the volatility we're in right now, we could still get the rug pulled. Speaking of that, we're going to be moving on. This is the SPX, the SPY, S&P 500. Y'all heard of that? This is actually the SPX 500 USD. I just so happen to be on this one versus SPY. I recommend usually looking at SPY. What do we got going on? The McDonald's arch. The deathly McDonald's arch. So we came down and tagged this line here at the 32.32, and we have got this insane run up the past couple days that I just do not believe at all. I see stuff kind of going down like this. See this white arrow? That's what I'm kind of thinking. What merit in the macro picture of all economics right now would have made this happen? Some people are like, well, people are thinking Trump was going to get in. Well, people are thinking Biden was going to come in. Yeah, but is that really going to change our macro economy tomorrow or next month? Not even close. I don't know. I sold out of a little bit today. Did you? Let me know in the comments. So would I invest in this right now? I just don't think so. I mean, I might try to follow this thing up for the earnings call, but that's about it. This market that we're in, I'm not sitting on anything unless it's a flip. Maybe bet something's going to go down, or like a floored out SPAC where I can't go any lower. It's just not worth it. Not in the place we're at right now. Just wait. You know, they could come out with banging earnings, but at the same time, it's finalized whoever's going to be president, and the market will either react with it going up or it going way down. Regardless, I don't want to be in something like that if the market is absolutely getting rug pulled. Okay. We'll see what happens after everything thins out. I think that the big picture, they'll do really well. They're one of the largest out there, if not the largest on some forums, right? Some ways, like refinancing in America is what they're saying. So I'm sure they'll be fine long term, but just remember the bad residential market and all payments for mortgage market is going to get real bad, real fast, real soon. So it's not something I want to hold for the next 2 years whatsoever either. This might even be something I'd wait 2 years to then buy in. I don't know. So what do you think? Do you think they're going to be making money on the back end when people are starting to foreclose? I don't think so. I don't see anything about that. We'll get to that in another time, but there are stocks you can even buy where you can make money on foreclosures. That might be the ones I'd be buying right now. Now I'm thinking about it. I'd rather be buying the foreclosure ones right now than the ones that do well when the economy is doing good, not bad. That's just what I think. We're going to move on to some more news. How about EOS Energy, BMRG? Y'all on this one still? Man, I was hoping this one would do rad. Stock hasn't performed. EOS Energy Storage and Global Renewable Developer, RKT Energy, to deliver over 1 gigawatt hour of energy portable projects across the United States over the next 2 years. A leading manufacturer of safe, reliable, low-cost zinc battery systems today announced that it has signed a broad-ranging agreement to provide the energy storage projects as an estimated value of more than $250 million of energy. A leading global developer, owner, and operator of solar, natural gas, wind, and energy storage projects. Sweet. It's a great project for them. What happened with the stock, though? Not much. I mean, it moved up a little bit, but if y'all know, this is a SPAC. The lowest this can currently go is right around where it's been sitting at like $9.95. Today it made all the way up to like $10.09 with this great LOI. See what I mean? You know, it's not just about ESG or green, because this is a total green play. These are batteries that you can use for backup for solar, like in between solar to the power company. You put these big, huge monster zinc batteries in between them. I got a video on actually this. If you want, take a look at it. What's going to happen with this? I think when this merges, which should be pretty soon, does anyone have a date on them? I don't know what date this finalizes the merge from BMRG to whatever it's going to be, EOS, I'm guessing. What's going to happen with this? Because of the action, what all this is telling me, because of the market, I think it's probably going to go down a little bit below the floor. Because remember, that floor gets pulled out when this switches ticker. This one's just got no love. I mean, it couldn't rally, sure, but chances are, even with that today, nothing happened. We'll see in the next day or two, but I don't know. You know, contrary to belief, a lot of people are thinking, you know, Biden could get in. If he does, people are thinking that the green ESG stocks are going to rally. I still don't really think it's totally ESG or green. There's still got to be a cool factor to it. For some reason, these guys are having a hard time doing it. You know, I haven't seen any videos or any hype on Twitter or anything, so maybe they just need to hype it. They need to sell. Sell us, dude. Come on, EOS. That's what we need. So just be careful on this, right? Just watch that ticker change. Most SPACs lately have been dumping after that. Protect yourself. Here is XPEV, XPEV. Unbelievable run today. I couldn't believe this thing. $22 on up to $27.39. After hours ended at $28.37. The only news I found was someone came out and said, we think it's a buy right now. Is there any way that this, just off the top of my head, I'm guessing that this thing is got a market cap probably over at least 50% of all manufacturers out there right now. You know, it's probably worth more than Mercedes. And who's heard of XPEV? XPEV. Kind of crazy, huh? Regardless, I jumped out right after hours when I saw it was up like, I don't even know what, 30% or something today. I jumped out, man. I just don't see it. I just don't see it yet. Not with the no real news. Is there more news I missed? I don't know. I think it was just the Asian EVs that were running today. NIO. This thing was ripping faces too, man. It's gone from like 30 to 39 today. And then after hours, it was going up a little bit more than where it finished, man. I don't know about that. I don't know if I can believe this. This is definitely worth more than Mercedes right now. Do you believe that? Have you ever seen a NIO car? Has anyone, my watchers, seen a NIO car? How many of you have seen Mercedes daily? How is this possible? Is this really the next Tesla, or is this the biggest scam of all time? So we need to find out. I think they definitely have products and stuff, but holy Toledo, is this thing going to just get the rug pulled out here anytime soon? Might. Anyone still in this? Anyone sold today? Let me know your positions. You know, SPE, a lot of other EV stocks didn't run today, so sometimes it's just like the Asian EVs that are running. I guess, too, you could say that if people are thinking Biden might win, that, you know, ties with China and all that are going to get better, and EV might get more well-known because he's saying he's going to have more charging stations and stuff, but I don't know. That could have been a catalyst for these running, too. And there's no sympathy play for SBE as it dove 2.5%. Someone wrote me and they said, I don't get it. It just is what it is. SBE is a SPAC. You know, 2.5% down, just no big deal whatsoever on SPAC. It's totally fine. I'm cool with it. Still macro thesis, long-term SBE, real business. The white elephant in the room, I think would be fantastic. Goldman's U.S. head of SPACs sees Goldman Sachs investors hitting their limits. Here's another Bear Thesis SPAC article. I love it when this happens because that means people don't like SPACs and the big boys are talking down. Goldman Sachs lead said they're bad. That means it's a good time to buy. 10 months into 2020, a record of $61 billion has been raised in initial public offerings by blue-chip company firms, but investors may be more discerned from here on. There has been a varying meaningful uptick in SPACs issuance, and we expect the market to be more selective going forward. Well, of course they can be more selective because there's more out there, said Olympia McNerney, the Goldman Sachs Inc. head of U.S. Special. The article, I ended up reading the whole thing. I didn't pull one piece of information that wasn't just like total common sense that anyone could have wrote that had no idea what a SPAC was. So this is what I think about it. There was no meat. Did I miss any meat on that article? I didn't find it. Did you? Let me know. But again, just realize. Remember I was talking about when, with Tesla, right? When people were starting to talk bad about Tesla, I was like, it's probably a good time to start buying. People are like, yeah, no, everyone's saying Tesla's going now. They're setting it up. They're setting it up because they're buying. Just pay attention to this. SPACs are way down. The big boys are all coming out and talking about them still. Sweet. What a market we're in. You guys realize that you can buy options on a SPAC that's almost floored right now? There's a reason I've done so many videos on PSTH, Bill Ackman, SPACman. Try to wrap your head around that. If we could ever get options on all SPACs before LOI and all that, remember, we still have that floor. Just think about that. You know the plays you want me to take a look at? Put them down in the comments. Did I miss any news today? Let me know down there too. Y'all holding on? Y'all pull out in cash for this election thing, or y'all just chilling, just waiting? No big deal. Just watch it. Watch the McDonald's arch here, okay? This could get real nasty. I still say we're probably going to get some fake outs until everything is 100% official in America, and I think we're going to have a pretty big rug pull. That's what I'm thinking. It'll probably catch. We'll probably catch and try to go back up, but watch that 3,200 line. The neck, the middle of the upside down Wu-Tang here. Watch that. That's what we need to watch and pay attention to. And just don't forget to be hedged right now. If you haven't hedged with the inverse ETFs, this is a perfect day to do it. While we had a big green when everything looked good and positive, perfect day to buy hedge. Protect yourself. If you haven't subscribed, please do it. It definitely helps out the channel. We also have a Patreon if you wouldn't mind joining that. That also helps out. Please share this video with your friends. Greatly appreciate it. Y'all have a good rest of the night. Did you know that we give away free silver? Simply leave a comment on the video, and as long as you're in the continental United States, you can be automatically entered to win. Please friend us on Twitter and StockTwits.